Hey guys, hope you and the families are doing well. I'm going to teach you one of my favorite setups which I use for swing trading and day trading. Now the setup is called the INMERELO, which is an acronym for intraday mean reversion long. And where I love using the INMERELO is on leading stocks as they pull back to key daily moving averages, such as the 10-day EMA, the 21-day EMA, or the 50-day simple period moving average. Now to help teach the INMERELO, I'm going to take you through my trade in PLTR, and we've got it overlaid versus the triple Qs. And I'll also teach you some of the nuances like how to identify intraday relative strength to really dial in on those best opportunities as leading stocks pull back to key daily moving averages. Market Surge are today's video sponsor. If you're interested in a discounted trial, then you'll find a link to that in the description and the comment section below. So let's get straight into the video. Hopefully quite straightforward. We've got PLTR daily chart in the upper left, we've got the triple Qs daily chart in the lower left, and then we've got an overlay of the 5-minute charts for PLTR, and then the triple Qs, and the times are hopefully lined up quite well as well. So let me give you a high level overview of the INMERELO, then we'll start going into some of the weeds and I'll teach you about this setup. If you want this setup and you're a user of TradingView, I'll put a link to it in the comment section below, so then you can just use this setup if you like, and you can tweak from there. Okay, so with PLTR, okay, what we see is a move down here, and then it starts reclaiming this orange line. Now this orange line is very important. It's the 5-minute 6 EMA. So oftentimes with INMERELOs, which again is an acronym for intraday mean reversion long, what you tend to see is price 1 reclaiming the 5-minute 6 EMA, as we can see here. And then what we also see is the MACD turning positive as well. Now there's a few more nuances, such as looking for intraday relative strength, which I'm going to teach you about. But in essence, what I'm looking for is the strongest stocks to pull back into key daily moving averages, reclaim their 5-minute 6 EMA, the MACD to turn positive. Now I'm using custom settings on the MACD. Let me show you what those custom settings are. Fast length 6, slow length 20, signal smoothing 9. Okay, I'm using custom settings, not the standard settings, because I want the MACD to turn quicker. Okay, what I'm trying to do is get in near the bottom as it starts to turn up. Now if you like a visual representation, what you tend to see with INMERELOs when they flush is you'll see either V's or you will see U's. Okay, and I'm going to come on to these a little bit later for specifically then where I'm looking to enter. I'll just draw some arrows and then we're going to talk about this a little bit later. Okay, the right hand side of a V or the right hand side of a U. Now just a high level as well, can you see this black line that's running across it? Okay, you see this black horizontal line. Now that is the 10-day EMA price level plotted on the 5-minute chart. So the 10-day EMA is here. Okay, can you see that 10-day EMA on my daily chart is there, and then that level running across is right here. If you'd like that as an indicator, search my name on TradingView, you'll find it. Daily moving averages on intraday charts. Okay, because when I'm looking for an INMERELO, so when I'm looking for those leading stocks, PLTRs, Nvidias, Broadcoms, Herd, Coin, whatever they may be, okay, when I'm looking for them to pull back into key daily moving averages, I want to have that reference point on the intraday chart, on the 5-minute chart, because it just makes it visually so much easier to see it, right? So if you look at PLTR, see how here undercuts the 10-day EMA, undercuts the 10-day EMA, shake out underneath the 10-day EMA. So there's really good INMERELOs, intraday mean reversion longs, on this day here, on this day here, on this day here. So if you followed the channel for a little while, you know I talk a lot about shakeout demand tails, gap down reversal bars. Okay, very similar concept. The INMERELO is just an entry within the formation of those shakeout demand tails. So those hammer, doji, dragonflies, Stakuri lines on the daily chart. You can see here with the triple Qs, nice big shakeout demand tail, really nice INMERELO that day. Here, shakeout demand tail off the 10-day. So then I'm trying to pick them up here with a tight stop right there. That's the nature of an INMERELO. Okay, I'm trying to pick it up here with a tight stop there. Okay, I'm looking for those tight stop losses around areas where I'm expecting support to be found for leading stocks, such as the 10-day EMA or the 21-day EMA or the 50-day. But then I also want to see the intraday relative strength. Okay, so my entry is then through the high. Oftentimes with INMERELOs, I will target through the high of the 5-minute 6 EMA reclaim bar. I will say that again. Oftentimes with INMERELOs, I target through the high of the 5-minute 6 EMA reclaim bar. So the reclaim bar is at 10:40 Eastern time. You see this? 10:40 Eastern time. Nice strong reclaim bar relative to the bar that you see at 10:40 for the Qs. On a microcosm, you're seeing intraday relative strength on this bar. I like to see that, okay? So you're seeing strength here, and then I'm targeting through the high of that bar. Now, I could go stop loss lower the day. which would be right on the 10-day EMA. I decided to give it a little bit of wiggle room down here at 147.97, a little bit of wiggle room underneath the 10-day EMA. So then you can see how those levels then look on the daily chart. Okay, my entry is effectively there at the 10-day with a stop loss just underneath low of the day there. Now it's nice tight risk control of around about 1%. Okay, I got a 1% stop in the leading stock around the key daily moving averages, and the ADR is circa 4%. Okay, I'm a lot less than the 20-day ADR percentage. Ideally with INMERELOs, I'm trying to be around a quarter to a third relative to the 20-day ADR percentage. Even less, even better. But a quarter to a third is kind of my reference point for I'm looking to control initial risk relative to potential reward. Okay, so that there is a little risk metric that I use, thinking about the 20-day ADR percentage, thinking about the quickness of the stock relative to the initial stop loss that I'm taking. Okay, so hopefully this is starting to make sense here. Okay, price is trading down, starts reclaiming this 5-minute 6 EMA and buying through the high of that when the MACD is turning positive, and we're in close proximity to, you see here, the 10-day EMA. Price trades down at 9.30, bounces off the 10-day, pulls back down, starts reclaiming. The entry is right there, stop loss low of the day just underneath the 10-day EMA. Now there's a couple of nuances here, okay, with the INMERELO. So what I'm looking for is the concept of intraday relative strength. Now I bang on and on and on about this because intraday relative strength and relative strength across multiple durations is so important. If there's a holy grail in trading, it is that, being able to identify relative strength across multiple durations. So if we take a look at the 9:30 candlestick, okay, these are all Eastern time. So if we take a look at the 9:30 bar, which is the first 5-minute candlestick of the session, what do you see? Well, for me, I see a shakeout demand here. Okay, yes, it's red, would be better if it's green, right? But generally speaking, it's kind of like a shakeout demand tail. It's kind of like a hammer type candlestick. You got this nice tail on it, okay, thinnish, real red body there, and it trades right down to the 10-day EMA, which is that. That's the 10-day EMA. So it pings down, bounces off like that. Now, if you think about this relative, so this is where we get into intraday relative strength versus the first 5-minute candlestick for the triple Qs, I would say that this bar here, the first 5-minute bar for PLTR, is more bullish. Now, why would I say that? Well, the real body, yes, the triple Qs has this little shakeout demand tail on it, but the real body is a lot bigger. See, it opens basically on the high of the bar, sells off, closes about mid-range. Okay, this real body is much greater than that for PLTR. So I'd say triple Qs weaker on that bar. If we then look as well, do you see how PLTR is able to hold that 9:30 low? Now, it's not just holding the 9:30 low, it's also holding its 10-day EMA, which for a lot of leading stocks is going to be an important moving average, much like the 21-day EMA, to see them hold around, to see them get supported around. So not only is the PLTR showing intraday relative strength because it's able to hold above the low of this 9:30 bar, okay, whereas triple Qs isn't. Makes new session lows there, makes new session lows there, makes new session lows down here. So triple Qs is going lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, trending down like this, where PLTR is holding above that low. It is showing structural intraday relative strength. Makes sense? And then if we go and look at the 1030 bar, okay, take a look at this 1030 bar here for PLTR, and then take a look at this 1030 bar for the triple Qs. What do you notice? Which one is more bearish? Interesting that the triple Qs effectively wipes out the gain of the last 3 5-minute candlesticks. Rally, rally, rally like this, and then 1030, oopsie daisy, back down to the downside, nearly back down to lower day. Look at PLTR at 1030. Doesn't really bat an eyelid. I mean, the volume is low, it's nearly an inside bar, it doesn't get anywhere near the low of the prior 5-minute bar. Do you see that? Look at that there. Yeah, I know these are the details, but these are the details to go into. These are the nuances to observe if you want to get good at this stuff. So you see how PLTR, it doesn't get anywhere near the low of the prior 5-minute bar, where the triple Qs effectively wipes out the gain of the last 3 5-minute bars. Takes out the low, nearly takes out the low there. So then what we see is intraday relative strength here for PLTR as well. And then on the reclaim candle, which is 2 bars later here at 1040, we're also seeing intraday relative strength plus the MACD is turning. So look at the strength of this 1040 bar relative to the strength of this 1040 bar. PLTR is stronger. So you're seeing strength. You're seeing strength that it held the low of the day. You're seeing strength at 1030. You're seeing strength at 1040 when you're starting to get the INMERELO develop. And it's holding this 10-day EMA. Now, the context here with INMERELOs is if you're a visual learner, think about a V or think about a U like this, okay? You're not trying to buy the bottom of the V. You're not trying to buy the bottom of the U. You're trying to buy with INMERELOs the right-hand side, okay, as it turns up and out of the V, up and out of the U. Okay, so if you look here on this visual example, see how it's trading down, 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 down. You're trying to get the turn there. Okay, with a U bottom like this, you're trying to get the turn there. Now, PLTR, if I was to just visually draw this, it's much more of a U. You see that? But what we're saying is here, that's the entry. And then if you look here, okay, do you see there? Look where the entry is in relation to this U. PLTR has bottomed and is turning up. Okay, I'm not trying to buy on the way down. I'm trying to buy right as it's just beginning to turn up, reclaiming that 5-minute 6 EMA, and the MACD is going positive. Okay, I'm trying to buy on the way up. Okay, I'm not trying to buy it here or here or here or here or guess. Oh, it's a little shaker. Oh, I'm buying that, but look at that little hammer. I'm buying. No. Okay, no. Very, very specific rules here. Okay, I'm trying to buy on the way up. Okay, so think about V's, think about U's, and I'm trying to buy on the way up. Okay, you see this here? There, look at where I'm buying. If I was to then just draw this kind of straight line, do you see how this U formation, I'm buying on the way up? Okay, not in here. It's still trending down. I'm trying to buy the emergence of a new uptrend with an INMERELO, not catch the falling knife, okay, so to speak. I'm buying it on the way up, the emergence of a new trend. I'm trying to pinpoint exactly where that new trend is going to develop, and is the stock that I'm looking at preferably a leading stock, a tier 1 leading stock, TML momentum leader, then is also displaying intraday relative strength like I've just taught you there with PLTR, plus you then get the INMERELO. Okay, I'm trying to line all these proverbial ducks up in a row. Okay, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed that video. You've learned something about the INMERELO. If you go and study this and you go and see when you get these shakeout demand tails or bounces, okay, off of key daily moving averages, go and study those. You'll see some really nice INMERELOs, like some really nice INMERELOs around these times. For me, it's one of my favorite tools within my proverbial trading toolbox. I really hope you guys have enjoyed that video, learned something that helps you with your trading. If you like this kind of stuff, if you like this kind of detail, you may enjoy what I offer on my platform. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. And as always, I look forward to seeing you in a future video.